Okay, we are back in Chicago today, but this time we are doing something completely different than anything we have ever done before. This time we are doing a food tour. I have tried to convince my husband to do a food tour for literally years. I've also been trying to get him to explore Chinatown with me for the last several years, and he just wasn't really that interested. He didn't think there'd be a whole lot to see, or that it would be that interesting, or that the food would be that good. And let me just tell you, it's kind of a spoiler. He was wrong. I had a few things that I wanted to see in Chinatown that was outside of food, like the Nine Dragon Wall, which you just saw, the Chinatown Gate, which was also in the previous clip. I don't know what's going on here. That was kind of random. Anyway, Chinatown was just kind of cute. It definitely had a different vibe from the rest of the town, which is, kind of obvious because, it's a cultural suburb, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Here's a random Paris baguette bakery, like in the middle of Chinatown. I'm not sure that I understand that one, but anyway, really, really good bakery. We came away with some donuts, some croissants, some pastries. Anyway, back to the food tour. Jared bought me a ticket for my Christmas present last year. I was so excited because that guaranteed that I was getting a food tour this year. We decided to invite our dearest friends, Joas and Liz, to go with us. They are like our adventure partners. And we even brought the Cubs along. The Cubs weren't supposed to go with us originally, but some plans changed and we decided to just bring them along, and it was great. We went with Chicago Food Tours for our tour and met with our group and our guide in front of our first destination restaurant. However, there was some technicalities with the first restaurant, so we were given a suggestion for a different restaurant. We packed in like sardines, but it was so worth it. Our first stop was dim sum, and we not only got food, we got cultural lessons from our tour guide, which were priceless for me. That's what I thrive on, is history and facts about the culture and stuff. So that was honestly probably my favorite, was just learning about the culture. Okay, but can we also just talk about the food? This was probably one of my favorite spots. This first dish here that they're picking up with the green wrappers is like a sausage roll with shrimp. Then there was a bao, which is like a bun with filling inside. And then they had kind of like a dumpling thing. All of them were so good. The boys did go with us. They were the only children on the tour, and honestly, I was kind of a proud mom. They did really, really well, and they tried almost all the food and enjoyed almost all the food. Even our tour guide was very, very impressed.
They used to serve dim sum pre-COVID in the back there. Cake, say that 5 times fast. And then the winter melon cake, or the sweetheart cake. It is one of a dozen different pastries that are traditionally served.
This second stop was a Chinese bakery, and they served us little like pastries and stuff. They were really good. Honestly, my favorite part was our tour guide. His name was Philip, and he was very educated. He knew what he was talking about. And he treated our little boys so respectfully. He included them everywhere he possibly could, and just, they were never a problem for him. And that meant a lot to me as a mom. Next, we had the opportunity to tour a Buddhist temple, which was just such a super unique experience. The volunteer who took us through the temple explained all the different statues and what they meant, and a little bit of the history of Buddhism and such. And it was just a very educational experience overall. As a Christian, I found it highly fascinating to hear them explain their belief and the meaning of each one of their statues and whatever. And I'm sure that I was viewing it from a slightly different lens than most of the other people in the tour. But again, very, very educational. Something that I loved about this tour was it was a walking tour. So we got to walk all over Chinatown, and I loved that. That's what I want to be when I get old. Just sit on the sidewalk and troll people with my music. Next, we walked to Chinatown Square, where we got to learn a lot about Chinese immigration into the US and how they were treated once they arrived. I was a little bit surprised how much history I actually already knew, but I hadn't had it solidified in my mind, and there was a lot of gaps in my understanding of some of the Chinese immigration history that our tour guide was able to put together, and it was just so educational for me. I loved it. We went to Chinatown Square, which was on my bucket list of things that I wanted to see anyway, so I was very, very happy that I was getting all of my stuff crossed off my list. We all loved this restaurant and we loved the chicken. Jared really liked the cabbage stuff as well. But anyway, this plate that they're passing around is like a peppercorn, I believe. And it is the weirdest thing. He had us chew it and it was like lemony, but also kind of floral, but also kind of citrusy. It was weird. It was so weird. And then you drink water and all of a sudden it would like explode in your mouth. It was weird. It was weird.
Yeah, I'll just do one. I won't totally embarrass myself. I mean, I am, but...
Griffin, look at mama. Thank you. Thank you. Mango green tea, bubble tea, mango green tea, bubble tea.
I don't know. Well, they love Chicago, but it's just...
Our next stop in one of my favorite locations was the Ping Tom Memorial Park, which was also, again, on my bucket list of things that I wanted to see. So was I very, very happy when we got to walk all the way there? Yes, I was. That part of the tour was very well thought out because we got our bubble tea and then we took a lengthy walk over to the park and the weather was gorgeous, so it was perfect. We're drinking our cool bubble tea, taking this beautiful walk down to the park, enjoying it, and then we come back for more food. The whole tour was like a progressive supper. So you would eat a little bit at one location and then you would walk to the next, eat a little bit at the next location and walk to the next. So you were constantly like burning off what you ate. You never got so completely full. Although if we would have eaten much more, I would have been so stuffed. So very, like I said, very well thought out, very well planned. Okay, on to part 2 of our Chicago day. Completely switching gears here, we are now in the main hub of Chicago along the Chicago River. We are doing an architecture tour. We had done an architect tour in San Antonio when we visited, and we loved it so much that we decided that we need to do the Chicago tour if we ever get the chance. So finally we made sure that it happened. It was a lot of fun. It was educational, but also it was just kind of novel. We got to see a glimpse into Chicago from a different point of view that we'd never seen it before. However, I don't know if I would do it again. Like, I'm glad we did it once. I'm glad we could say that we did it. I enjoyed just floating along the river, but I don't know. I didn't enjoy it as well as the San Antonio tour, so I'm not sure that I would do it again. But it was only a 90-minute tour, so it was very doable and free, like, beverages, so that was great.
River, it reflects the beautiful green color of the water. The lake slowly in the Bertram Goldberg set there. Facing north and south and one of the bits of the two, but as well as the salt. So at the top of the barrels of water.
It has been such a good day. Now we're gonna end it with supper at Navy Pier. I cannot tell you how fun it is for us to go exploring with friends. Our friends Joas and Liz are my favorite people to take along on an adventure because they're just up for anything, and our boys love them. They are like honorary aunt and uncle to our boys, and we all always have such a good time. Storm's coming! First time for everything! Yeah. Like I said at the beginning, this time in Chicago was unlike anything we'd ever done before. We did 2 tours in one day, and we've never done a tour in Chicago like ever. So I really hope that you enjoyed this glimpse into our day, and let me know in the comments, would you do a food tour? And if you did, would you do the Chinatown, the Chicago Classic, or a Mexican food tour? Thanks for following along, and don't forget to like and subscribe.